Hey, what is up, guys? Bluntcuts here. This is a Watcher of Realms video. Thanks so much for tuning into my channel. I really appreciate it. I have not been posting much recently. I've got a newborn son. I'm also just, honestly, I'm not really feeling the game right now. I'm certainly not feeling spending on the game. They haven't really put out much, if any, compelling content at any point in recent times. I know we're getting Nightmare 5 Guild Bust. Maybe that'll bring me back in a little bit. I just had some really depressing runs on the banners recently. This 15x that's not 15xing is just killing me. And, you know, despite spending a massive amount of resources, now, granted, I didn't pay for them. I don't, I get a lot of stuff as a content creator, but despite saving and just dumping resources into both the Beelzebub banner and the Wukong banner, I have cumulatively pulled one copy of each of those heroes, aside from the guarantee that I get of Wukong. But across those two banners, I have summoned probably over 3,000 different rare summons and a total of somewhere in the neighborhood of like 65 divine summons. And it's just, it feels bad. It feels real bad right now. And I don't really understand what I'm saving for anyway. Like, what am I upset about? Because I'm beating everything anyways. Like, what are we doing this for? So apologies for my sad sackness. It's partially that I haven't been posting, and partially just I don't know what I'm doing with this game right now. So I do want to keep. I love the community. I love a lot of things about the game. It just they need to do something to bring us back in my opinion, or at least me. And we'll see if that happens. But I'm going to go through these banners very quickly. This is like the third time I'm recording this video. I wanted to be quick, so I'm not going to go super in depth here. We're just going to talk through the banners real quick, and I'm going to try to just give you my advice. I am coming at this from an endgame perspective. I will try to call out if there is a hero that I think is going to be helpful to you if you are mid-game or early game or something like that. But this banner right here, 2x15x, it is the first banner that we've had with 2x15x on it in, I don't know how long, 6 months, more, something like that. I think we had one at the anniversary, but it might have been this one, honestly. I can't remember. I don't know. It's been a long time. But if somebody can correct me in the comments. Let me know when the last time we had one of these was. But it's good, not great. It's good, not great. It's a repeat. We haven't had one of these in a really long time, and they just put out the same one that we've had in the past. So Boreas is a really, really good hero. Just not what he used to be. He did get nerfed about a year ago. It was kind of the OG, like, meta changer, and then he got nerfed, and he's good. He's just not what he once was. Ironically, there's a lot of heroes in the game right now that are way more overpowered than he ever was, and they haven't touched him, probably because they're pay-to-win heroes. But he's good. I do think if you're looking at getting awakenings, the key ones are probably going to be this A3 and the A5, sadly. The A5 gives 10 seconds on his ultimate duration, and the A3 is going to give a 50% increase to basically his main source of AoE damage. So that's really going to help you out. If you are looking to use him, I think the only place that he is like really, really good right now is in GVG, and that is only in a very specific case if you have a Cyrus. That is the only time I would really be pulling specifically for him. If you are an endgame player, if you're an early game player, he's going to carry you through so much stuff. And if you haven't beaten Gear Raid 1 yet, Gear Raid 121 yet, he is going to basically solo it for you. So, you know, obviously he needs good gear to do that, and he needs support. Probably one more decent AoE mage, but he is just so damn good, and he's kind of built for that stage. He brings anti-heal, he brings crowd control, he brings massive damage, he brings a huge range, so really, really good hero. But if you don't have Cyrus, the Awakenings aren't really going to do all that much for you as an endgame player because there's just not that many places to use him. Lucius is a good hero. Good hero, not a great hero though, and especially when you're stacking him up against other single target marksmen, he just really doesn't hold up because you've got heroes like Hex and Silas that are just like above and beyond some of the best heroes in the game, and he doesn't really fit. Once upon a time, when he was first released, he did have the only buff removal in the game. It was right after Guild Boss 2 was released. It was really important for that Aegis phase. So unfortunately, or fortunately, I guess for everybody, because better hero was released in Kigiri, exclusive hero was released that basically did what Lucius does, but better. And he's in the same faction. So, you know, it's a fighter versus a marksman. So I guess maybe if you want that flexibility, there's a case to be made for having Lucius as well. If you don't have Kigiri, then you might want to pull for Lucius because it is important to have that buff removal. But I also think that at this point, with the number of Guild Boss 2 heroes that we have in the game, I think it's completely possible that you could get to 120k without actually removing those buffs. So maybe I'm wrong about that. I don't know. It's been a while since I could on my account, but I have a very progressed account, so that might not be the case for everybody, obviously. I think it's worthwhile to have at least one buff remover on your account. So if you don't have Kigiri again, pick up a Lucius, because we don't know when the next Kigiri banner is going to come. It could be 6 months from now. It could be hell. The way the game's going, we don't know what's going to happen, right? So maybe it never comes again. In any case, as far as key awakenings are concerned, he has really good awakenings as well. So I mean, the A1 is nice, increases basically his proc-based damage. The A3 is bad. I know a lot of people like it. The stun is is only going to be active when you use the ultimate, and you don't really want to be using the ultimate in the phase when you want to get stunned. So it's like it's counterintuitive. You would think that this would be really good for Guild Boss 2, but it's not. The damage reduction. There are 3 other units in the game that do better damage reduction. You really need to be bringing one of those 3 in order to be successful in Guild Boss 2. So you should be bringing either Volca, who everybody has, or Alistair, or Init, and they are going to do a better job, more consistent job of applying damage reduction. So this is not going to help you anywhere. So that damage reduction, you may as well just delete it, because it's not going to help you out in the content that it seems to be designed for. So ignore that. The A5 does give you an attack percent increase on his high damage ultimate. He has like a light and a dark, and the dark is higher damage. The light is more utility. It's still damage, but just not as good as the dark. This is going to give you up to a 36%, probably on average an 18 to 20% over the course of the demonic embrace, the dark state, and that's solid. But it's going to max out at 36%. It's really good. This is when he does kind of like bump up a tier as far as his output is concerned. But he's a good hero. He's just not amazing anywhere, and he's not as essential as he was when he was first released. Ares, who's the other hero on this banner, I'm not even going to talk about him. I had somebody call him Porador in my last video in the comments. I thought that was very apt. He is kind of like a poor man's Torador. He applies defense reduction and does mediocre damage. He's not a tank. He does have 2-tile range, which is nice. I don't know why they couldn't have given that 2-tile range to like a good fighter, but they're like, here, take your 2-tile range. That's what you're always bitching about, right? Here's one. Yeah, but he's just not good, and his awakenings are not good either, so definitely would not be pulling for him. And the Ancient banner, don't pull your ancients on this, is what I'm going to say. There's really no case where you should be pulling on this. Elddr, I have kind of a soft spot in my heart for Elddr. He's not a great lord. He's just not. There are not enough units in the game to really justify bringing him. I think the dividing line between the non-ancient lords and the ancient exclusive lords should be that the ancient exclusive lords should be units that you actually want to bring. Now, there are a few of the non-ancient exclusive lords that you do want to bring, like Torador. Twin Fiend, not as much anymore, but still, he was a good hero. Still is a good hero, I would say. Who else am I missing here? I'm kind of going through. Leia is a solid lord that is not ancient exclusive. The ancient exclusive ones, in my opinion, because they are so hard to get, they are so rare, and because ancients are so valuable, they should all be heroes that you want to bring along. And Elddr is decent, but he only has a 1-tile range, and you can't sit behind a tank and have him be effective. And there's only 2 units that really are going to take a lot of advantage of his skills. I mean, there are other ones that are going to be helped out by him as well, but there are 2 units that are really good that you are going to want to bring, and those being Ardea and Valkyra. Those are units that are used in endgame content in a lot of different areas, and they are going to benefit more from Elddr's Lord skill versus having like a Hars or an Isolde or something like that on there. But largely, the Northerner faction is geared around defense. It is a tank faction, and he's just not doing it. Now, we've also got Jeera on the banner here, and Jeera is solid damage, kind of big hits but slow. Doesn't really output a ton. If you are using her with a Wailing Skull, she does a really high base stat, so she can get some damage out that way. But the only place where that really comes into play right now is in Guild Boss 2, and you don't really want to be using her with a Wailing Skull in Guild Boss 2 right now, because most of us are using Wukong there, and Wukong needs the floor tiles to deploy his clones. So, she's fine, but she's just not good. Not somebody you want to be specifically pulling for. I'd say the one thing that she does really, really well is she stacks BP like a mofo, and she is really, really good. Probably, I would say, second or third best in the game. Her and Beelzebub kind of fight it out, with Uridin, I think, still being at the top of the heap. But she's one of these units that can get you between 125 and 130k battle power at A5. Now, I don't think that she's really worth pulling for on this banner, because you're risking getting an Elddr with your Lord Mercy, and that would just suck. So I wouldn't do that. But yeah, that's my thoughts. I honestly, unless you are looking for one of these heroes specifically, or you have a need to get more shards for the Carrion's Call shards for Beelzebub's exclusive artifact, I would probably just skip this weekend. I don't think it's worth pulling on. We're going to have an Ancient banner as well as a probably an exclusive banner on Valentine's Day in a couple weeks. You're probably better off saving for that. I think these banners, especially the 2x, 15x, is mainly designed to drain summons so that people are going to be without when the exclusive does come out. But, you know, I also kind of feel like if you have 200 summons to spend on that exclusive banner, then who cares? Because what are the chances of getting? I mean, I spent 1,700 summons on Wukong, and I got one extra copy of him. So, like, what are we really missing out on here? This you can get lucky, as with all the, it's all RNG at the end of the day. You can get lucky, but the 15x is not giving you the boost that it felt like, at least to me, that it used to. And I had such horrible luck on both Beelzebub and on Wukong that I am completely disillusioned with my ability to pull things that I want in this game. Also, we have no idea how good, shoot, what is her name? Dao Chan, I think is what her name is. I'm probably mispronouncing that, but we don't know how good she is. She's a healer. She does have a bond skill, Lubu, who we think is going to be released as an ancient hero on the same weekend, and he does look really good. But again, we haven't tested him, so we don't know what the damage is going to look like. The kit looks good. We have to see how that actually gets leveraged into gameplay and see how that functions. But I don't think you're going to be missing out on anything this weekend by not pulling. So I would just advise you not to pull. Please do like and subscribe and all that good stuff. It really does mean a lot to me if you can click that thumbs up button, if you can subscribe if you are not currently subscribed. I know a lot of you do view my videos regularly, and a lot of returning viewers that view my stuff that are not subscribed. So if you want to click that subscribe button, it would really mean a lot to me, kind of make my day. But in any case, guys, I will catch you next time. Good luck if you are pulling. I will see you all in the next video.